Good morning and welcome to this edition of NCompass Live, the weekly online webinar hosted by the Nebraska Library Commission. My name is Michael Sowers, and in the room with me here is my colleague Laura, who will be joining me for this session. Our weekly session is a series of presentations of interest to Nebraska librarians and anyone else who is interested in attending. Like I said, we do this once a week, and we are recording, so this session, should you have missed this or any previous session, will be available to watch online and to listen to as a podcast. This week we have Sally Gardner Reed, the Executive Director of the American Library Trustees Advocates, Friends, and Foundations Group, ALTAFF, although I hear you recently changed your name, so I'll let her explain that just a bit. And so, Sally, you're on the line with us?
I am. Hello.
All right. Well, I'm just going to go ahead, and we've got the show started here, so I'm just going to let you go and give your presentation.
Thank you, Michael. And I also want to thank the Nebraska Library Commission. They do so many wonderful things for Nebraska's libraries, and one of the things that they do that we're really excited about is that they offer every single public library in the state access to ALTAFF membership. And as Michael said, we are changing our name. Some of you who've been around for a while used to know us as FALUSA. Then we merged with ALA and became ALTAFF, which Michael said is the Association of Library Trustees, Advocates, Friends, and Foundations, which everyone found very wonky and long. So once again, we're changing our name, the last time in my lifetime, I hope, and we are now going to be called United for Libraries. So as of September of this year, you will see our complete changeover to United for Libraries. We think it's a much better name and much more indicative of what we do, which is to give support and educational materials and connection to all those citizen groups out there that support their libraries, like trustees and foundations and friends. So with that said, I want to show you all the wonderful things that the Nebraska Library Commission has made available to you through membership in ALTAFF. So for now, while we still have this wonky name, you can go into your search and just put in ALTAFF. You alternatively could go ahead and log into ALA, and then since we are a division of ALA, you would just click on Divisions and then click on Association of Library Trustees, Advocates, Friends, and Foundations. And before I go any further, I would like to recommend to all of you that you go ahead and pick up a pen and some paper, because what we have to offer you and what we're going to show you today is just so rich. I was going through the website myself earlier today in preparation for this webinar, and I just was astonished again at how much information is available to you with your membership in ALTAFF. Once you come to ALTAFF, the landing page, I recommend before you even log on that you scroll through and see what's going on at the top here, because it's all of our latest and greatest. So if you're not going to the conference, ALA conference in Anaheim, I'm sorry about that, because I'm really looking forward to it. But we're very proud that our President's Program this year will feature Dan Rather. So that's quite a feather in our caps, I think. But if you look around, there's other wonderful things. For example, Paula Poundstone is our national spokesperson, and she has provided us with a free and wonderful PSA that you should definitely download for your own library. Since I won't be able to share with you the audio of that PSA, just make a note. Hopefully you have that pen and paper now. Make a note to click on it and download this, because it's a wonderful, wonderful PSA encouraging everyone to join their local Friends of the Library. I think you'll really enjoy that. And I could hit the back button, but I want to make a note also to you that as you go deeper and deeper into the site, you can get lost. There is a lot here, and I've gotten lost. So all you ever need to do, no matter what page you're on, is just scroll to the top and click on ALTAFF, and that brings you right back to the home page again. So just something to keep in mind as you're browsing around. For those trustees out there who are listening, you have access to the Trustee Academy, again, by virtue of your membership, the Library Commission's gift of the membership to all of you. And so I highly encourage you to take those courses. And this is something that's fairly new that we are very, very proud of, and I think very useful to all of you. Again, we haven't even logged into the Friend Zone yet, or the Trustee Zone, which is for members only. All of you are members. But just on our front page, here's what everyone gets to see. So I'm clicking on Library Quotes, and we have hundreds and hundreds of quotes from all sorts of people. And we've put in a subject or a type of person. Example, if you were looking for some quotes for your newsletter or to put onto your web page, just click on contemporary authors, for example, and you will find many quotes about authors and how important, by authors, about how important libraries are to them. And you can search by keywords. So for example, if you were looking for some quotes about children and libraries, just type in children and go. Let's see if there's any quotes with children in here. Looks like it. So here you can see a good number of quotes by pretty well-known people. So that's wonderful. And that's useful to you if you're trying to promote your library through those quotes. So I'll just go back. See, ALTAFF is here again. So if you were lost here, you can just click ALTAFF. Every time you're trying to show something or get some information quickly, it seems the browser goes slowly. Let's try it this way. Okay, so that's what's here on the scroll. If you don't want to log in and you're in a hurry and you just need a quick fact sheet or something like that, you can go straight to your type of group. If you're a friends group, you can go here and click on friends groups and see what's available for free. This is free to everybody. So here are our fact sheets. We're quite well known for those. We have about 25 fact sheets that is sort of our organizational stand on issues as well as how to do it information. So you can see the wide variety here of fact sheets that are just one-pagers. Let's say you want board development, how to make your friends board better. And you can, I'm not going to go through the particular fact sheet, but just to show you that they're sort of those quick guides, quite nice. So I'm going to scroll up, go back to the home page again. For trustees, those of you who are trustees out there, it works the same exact way. You just click on trustees and we have information, the same sorts of information as well, that's just free for all trustees, whether they're members or not. So if you're looking to grab a quick tip sheet or you want to join a trustee listserv, by the way, both friends and trustees should join the listservs because I think it's one of the most important things that we've done through the years. That's connect friends groups with one another so they can share best practices, get solutions to their problems, that sort of thing. If you go here, for example, back, say you're a friends group, because I'm assuming most of the listeners are friends, and I may be wrong about that, but it's really easy to join. We totally walk you through it, even if you're not particularly computer savvy. It's really just clicking where you're told to click, and you're there. So here, joining the Friends listserv, you just send the message, and you can see the instructions are quite clear. In the body of the message, type only, subscribe Falusa L. This is hearkening back to our old name because we have not transitioned over, and once we knew that the name was changing, we decided not to stick ALTAFF in there for a short duration. So when September comes around, this will be united. And so that's a great way. You'll start getting email messages. You can send out your issues. You can say, I've got a president who's not holding any meetings in our friends group, and we're really frustrated, and what can we do? And you'll get lots and lots of answers. For trustees who join, the same exact thing. In fact, a lot of policies, you may have a new policy, maybe you're having new behavior problems in your library, and you're looking for some sample policies. That's a great place to find them. So that is all right there on the landing page for you. But what you get that non-members do not have access to is the ability to enter the friend zone or the trustee zone. So let's start with the friend zone. Suppose you're going in here, so you've just clicked on it, and you see all these wonderful things like a toolkit. So you want to look at the toolkits, and you click on it, and you will get a message telling you that you can't get in, and that's because you haven't logged in. So what you need to do is log in up here. So I will do that right now. Now, if you have forgotten your username or password, just give our office a call. On our landing page, we have an 800 number, or you can email us at altaff@ala.org. And here's the contact information. This is at every landing page. So just give us a call or send us an email, and we'll get you set up. We'll get you either, well, you've already got username and passwords, but if you've forgotten it, we'll definitely get it to you right away. So now I've got access to those toolkits, and they are very meaty how to do it guides on specific issues that, in this case, right now we're in the friend zone, that friends have. And I just wanted to show you the types of, they've got the table of contents, and there's just a really good amount of information here. You can see, I'm just scrolling through so you can see how much information that you can get. And appended to this one in starting a friends group is a sample memorandum of understanding, which sometimes is a really good idea to have between friends and libraries, so that even if things are going really well now, that would be a really good time to have a memorandum of understanding, because as you know, the players change and sometimes things fall apart based on personalities. So we have that memorandum of understanding in a number of places. But I just wanted to show you how meaty these particular toolkits are, and they only come with membership. I'm real pleased also about some of the publications that we have to offer you. When I say that this is practically a library of information for friends and trustees, it's really true. For example, we have a PDF of 101 great ideas for libraries and friends, which is now out of print and used to sell from Neil Schumann, the publisher, for $65 or something like that. And you can have it free. You can download it and print it off if you wish, or if you can just browse it to get some great ideas. And I want to just show you a few samples of this. It's about 150 pages of great ideas from friends groups across the country. So this, I think, is just worth membership alone, but there is so much more. And I'm just scrolling through quickly to show you that it's an exact replica of the book itself. So in addition to the text, you get also all the graphics and wonderful submissions that were made by friends groups in the making of this book. I want to just get to one example. All of an opportunity for you to find out what you can do differently to raise more money, what other groups are doing. This is like, we call it a cookbook or a recipe book of how to do it good. It'll give you samples of the graphics. It'll tell you how it was successful, what worked, what didn't work. It's just wonderful, wonderful resource for you. In addition, we have a couple of really nice, I would call them booklets, on making your voices heard. If you have an advocacy issue, this is a wonderful workbook and guide on how to create a great advocacy campaign for your library in your town. A lot of us cuts, for example, or stagnant budgets, and this will help you generate support from your community in order to hopefully turn those cuts around. And something else we're very proud of is getting grants in your community. Again, it's a booklet, and it has a blank grant template, so if you just fill in the blanks, you can print it out and have a really nice looking grant to take to community civic groups, to your local Kmart. And by the way, if you're not getting grants in your community, you're really leaving money on the table, because most, at least if you're in a big enough town, and I am from Nebraska, as many of you know, I've bragged about it often. I graduated from Hastings High School, and my family's there. I really love Nebraska. So I don't have a Kmart in town, but some of you do, or someone have one nearby. Or a Walmart, or a Target, or a Safeway. Very many chains have money to give at the local level. It won't be tens of thousands of dollars, but it could be $1,500, it could be $500, and if you write a simple grant, and this is really easy, you're going to be able to bring some extra money into your friends group by taking that grant to your local. And if you have Kiwanis or Rotary or one of those civic groups, they're also often able to provide you with some funding for a special project. So these are the publications free by being a member of ALTAFF. We also have special offers from our sponsors. We have corporate sponsors, which is one of the ways we exist. They help pay my salary, so I'm very, very grateful to them. And one of the things that we ask them to do when they join us is to offer something special to our members. And one of the things I think is the best deal we have, and some of you may have taken advantage of this, is the Book Lovers Calendar. Workman Publisher is a sponsor of ours, and this calendar retails for $12.99, but our members can buy it for $2.50 plus 5% for shipping and handling, and it's been a great fundraiser for them because they sell them oftentimes around Christmas. And of 2012, as you will see, we're preparing for the 2013 edition. You sell them for maybe $5. You give your patrons a break, but you make $2.50 on every one that you sell, or you could sell it for the retail price. Whatever you choose to do with them. Some people just buy them and give them away for gifts, but you have to order a minimum of 30, and then you can use them in any way you wish. So that's just an example of one of the great offers from our sponsors. Whoops, see? Let's see if I can get back.
Sally? Oh, okay.
Yes.
You don't need to log in again. You're still in.
I'm still in, but
yeah.
I couldn't get my thing to come up. What I did was I logged out of ALTAFF, didn't I?
Yeah, I think
so. I hope you can edit. For the live audience, I apologize. I'm hoping that maybe you, Michael, can edit this out.
Yeah, we're still seeing everything you're doing, so you're good. You can just pick up where you left off there.
I'm glad I didn't cuss.
Yeah,
that's a good thing.
It's all right.
All right, so let me quickly go back in. This is the joy of live broadcast. Okay. Okay, so I just finished talking about getting grants in your community and the fact that that's a wonderful opportunity if you hadn't thought about it, and it's something that we can definitely help you do. The other thing that we have that we're really excited about Oops, I'm sorry. That's not where I meant to click. There we go. I don't know why this, when you click, it takes you back up to the top of the page, but so just scroll down to the left-hand navigation so you can find these things. We have PSAs for friends groups that are wonderful. I'm not sure if they're an organizational. Oh, there they are, public service announcements. Oh, that's the one on Paula Poundstone. Okay. Oh, okay, I'm not to the PSAs yet, but here is a wonderful study if you're interested in how friends groups are supporting their libraries and what the national trends are. This was done actually by a graduate student in library science. She used our membership to retrieve her data, and then she made her final report available to us in exchange for that. And it's quite interesting. So you can check and see how your friends group is measuring up. I just wanted to get down quickly to a couple of graphs here, because if you're just browsing, sometimes the graphs are, whoops, easier to use. But I see that's not going to come across very easily here. So I just recommend that you make a note to yourself and head back there. Okay, so I am not quite sure where that's one of the problems I have that you probably will experience yourself, is that there's so much, and the people who build the website go where they think people would go, obviously, for something, and it's not always where you necessarily would go. We are in actually the trustee zone. I didn't realize that, but here it's just as well. It's a good opportunity for you who are trustees out there to see what we have. As a member, you get a significant discount on our complete trustee handbook, which has received great reviews, by the way. As you can see, it was sold by Neil Schumann for $60 plus $9 for shipping and handling. Our members get a significant discount, basically half price, and it's a wonderful book for trustees. And you also get that same break on our second edition of 101 Great Ideas. And you saw the PDF earlier. This is the updated version, all brand new ideas. So it's very similar to the PDF, but completely new ideas. So if you like the PDF that you get for free, you might consider buying this at a half price discount. And then these are like toolkits for friends. It's a library board's guide to self-evaluation. So if the board's wondering if they're doing really as good a job as they should be doing, this is sort of a great guide and check-off for library boards. If you have to hire an outside expert, a consultant, another great guide for what you need to know in order to do that. And here again are the other two, getting grants in your community and making our voices heard. So lots of good information out there. We do have actually there are 8 public service announcements for friends to use, and I'm just trying to figure out where they would be. So my idea would be that they'd be in organizational tools, but we didn't see it there, did we? So let's just kind of explore together. Idea sharing. These are another collection of all the great ideas that have been in our newsletter over the years, and we've put them in different categories. So if you're trying to raise your membership and friends, what other groups have done, you can click here, and we've extracted what we think have been the best ideas, and they're very short and sweet. so you can look at them. Here are 3 great ideas. Suppose you just want some ideas for programs. And again, what we think have been some of the best ideas out there. So just if you want a quick, sort of search for great ideas, that's a place to do it. I am so sorry I'm not finding those public service announcements. I had seen them earlier, but I'm just not very intuitive, I guess. You see this search box up here? Remember that we're on ALA's site, and I say that because I think what this ends up doing is searching ALA's site, not necessarily ours, but so I haven't had very good luck with it, but I'm going to try. We'll see what happens. See, it's really more toward what ALA's has, so it doesn't really search our site specifically, and which is too bad. I don't know if that's something that we can work on or not, but don't expect a lot of success with that, I guess is what I'm saying, because I sure haven't had it. Let's see, another great thing I want to tell you about while we're just exploring, since I'm not finding those quickly, is our Authors for Libraries program. It's just getting underway, but it is something I think has a lot of potential for the future. We started this because we wanted to get authors on board to help us be advocates, so that when you were, suppose, in Lincoln, Nebraska, and your library's being hit with a 10% decrease or something, you can go in and do a zip code matchmaking search and find authors in your area who could write an op-ed for you. Very often authors have more clout than we library people do, so it's just a wonderful way to do that. But then as we started growing this matchmaking site, we found out that it would be a great opportunity as well to find authors for programs. So if you wanted to find an author in your area, you click on this site, and unfortunately you're not going to have a lot of success because it's so new and we only have like 150 authors so far. So let's do a search of 250 miles. You were hoping for a day trip for a program. You can see that we currently don't have authors in that area, but if I went to New York City and did it, I'm going to find authors because clearly a lot of authors live here. But as we build this, this database, it'll be richer and richer, and you'll have a lot more success. So I'm pointing it out to you just to let you know it exists, and for you all who have connections with local authors, you should encourage them to join our Authors for Libraries program. It's $39 a year, and the great thing for them is it connects them directly with libraries, plus they get on our site, they get their book face forward on our site, and they get a link back to their site. So it's really a good deal for authors, and the more that we can get join us, the more richer our database will be, and it will be wonderful for everybody, for authors and for libraries. So please do encourage your local authors, and I know you have some great ones there. Ted Kuzer and Clefcorn. Is it Clefcorn? I'm not quite sure. But anyway, lovely poets. Ted Kuzer is absolutely my favorite. I'm going to go back now to ALTAFF. And Michael, do we have any questions on the question board?
Not at this point. I have one or two, but I'm kind of waiting for the end. So,
Okay, well, why don't you ask them now, because I'd be happy to go ahead and answer questions.
Well, actually, Laura has something. Why don't you? Well, I'll let her ask a question.
Hi, Sally.
Okay, great.
We have sent out information to everybody about the Baby Boomer Volunteers webcast series, but I think maybe people would like to hear a little bit about it.
Oh, thank you for that. Yes, you get a significant discount. Once again, because of your membership, you get a significant discount to the Baby Boomers webinar, and I think it's, I'm really excited about it. I say that even though I'm one of the participants. But the real volunteer guru is Carla Lane, who is on the staff at the State Library of California, and she's really just made it her mission in life to understand what makes people volunteer, what are trends in volunteering, how do we recruit them, how do we use them. She's just fantastic. So it's a three-part webinar. And the first one is an overview, very important for you. When you pay, you get access to all three parts. But the first part is really important to listen to because it tells how baby boomers are different. And when I say baby boomers, I want to say baby boomers and all of those who follow us, because there's significant differences today in what motivates a baby boomer to volunteer and what motivates yesterday's volunteers. You know, yesterday's volunteers are primarily women who stayed at home, and their contribution not only to their family was to the community, and they were the ones who volunteered, and it was half social and half volunteering. It was a wonderful, you know, model that doesn't work anymore because baby boomers are wanting very different things in their volunteer jobs than yesterday's volunteers did. They want to get in and out. They don't want to attend meetings. They want to see the results of their efforts. So if you think about that, trying to engage a baby boomer in the library, for example, to shelve books, is going to be all the things they don't want. It's going to be a schedule they have to stick to. It's going to be repetitive, you know, work that's not interesting. They want to have their skills used. So where yesterday's volunteers were more altruistic and it was more socially oriented and they would do whatever was asked, today's volunteers have a lot of skill sets from the workplace that they want to bring to the table. So you could get a volunteer bookkeeper to audit your friends group records, for example. That would be something that would utilize their tasks, their skills. It would be a get in, get out type of opportunity. They would see the results of their work. So it's a real different group. And I will tell you, when I ask groups what they think the average age of today's volunteer is, I normally get responses like 70, 75, and that's not true. The average age of today's volunteer is about 40, surprisingly. And there's a couple of reasons for that. First of all, baby boomers, even though still in the workplace, are volunteering. Lots of Gen Y people volunteer, and that age is brought down by parents who volunteer in the schools or with the Little League or with the Girl Scouts. So you can see that there's a wider range of volunteers that than you might expect even today. And also, surprisingly, the group that gives the most number of hours to volunteer enterprises is the baby boom generation, and that comes from the Bureau of Labor and Statistics. So this first course is really important as an overview. And then, here's Carla, and then the second is on how to engage baby boomers for friends groups. And I do that one, and it gives guidance and instruction on how to restructure your friends group so that you will be more attractive to baby boomers and Gen Xers who are giving lots and lots of time. And then the third part would be great for trustees and librarians, and it's how to recreate volunteer opportunities to get volunteers into the library. So how to recruit, train, and retain a workforce using the information from the first webinar on how today's volunteers are very different. So it's exciting. It's so interesting to me. I learned everything I know now from Carla, and I just find that whole whole change very, very fascinating, and it's a very instructive for those of us who are really seeking to get new active members for their friends groups. So thanks for asking that question.
Yeah, I'll say in my...
Are there any other?
Yeah, well, just to kind of tie in there a little anecdote that back when I was in Colorado, I was actually the manager for a friends group bookstore, and being not a baby boomer myself, I would say I was probably younger than the next volunteer by about 20 years, with the average being about 30 years younger. So maybe I could have used some of those lessons, 5-6 years ago. But Laura, you had another topic?
Well, first I did want to mention that we sent out an email to everybody on May 22nd about this. I can send out another email if you like, because as I understand it, to get the special offer for Nebraska libraries, we do need to register by mail or with the form that I have here. So I will send that out to everyone again so that they have it. And we were also interested in the Trustee Academy. That's been free for our Nebraska Library trustees, and it's really been quite successful. We've had hundreds, literally, of trustees view these webinars, and we'd really like to encourage a lot of other people too. So maybe you could talk about that a minute?
Yes, the Trustee Academy is a 5-part webinar, and it is another fabulous resource that the Library Commission has made available through its membership with ALTAFF. And it starts with the basics. So the first 2 are just what are the roles and responsibilities of trustees. Now, I'm not sure, in Nebraska, do you have mostly governing boards or mostly advisory boards?
Mostly governing boards still. There are some advisory boards, but most of them are governing boards.
Yeah, okay, good. One of the feedback pieces that we've received is that it's very heavily geared toward governing boards. And for those of you who are familiar with the 2 types, governing boards are hire and fire the librarian, so they really have that final authority. Advisory boards are when the library is a town department or a town agency, and the city manager or the town manager hires and fires the librarian. So the trustees don't really have direct authority, but they can advise. And so we will probably be at a future date adding another component to the webinar on roles and responsibility of advisory boards. But even if you are an advisory board, lots of what's in there is very, very useful. So it talks about the basics. It talks about the importance of advocacy. We talk about the roles and responsibilities between the director and the trustees, which is often an area where there can be some troubles. And you know, my strong belief, and I think experience has borne this out, is that trustees need to be very, very careful about not getting involved in operational decisions, because that's management. When that happens, that's when you have librarians feeling like they're micromanaged. So the role of the trustees really is to have the big picture, to set the direction for the library, to pass policy, and to hire a really good librarian and turn the keys over to him or her. And I will say the other side of that is if you have a librarian you're not happy with and don't like the direction the library is going, the trustees should be strong enough or have enough backbone to go ahead and start the disciplinary process and ultimately fire a bad librarian. I don't think there's many in my experience. I find that most libraries are run by really terrific people who are creative and just very service oriented. But if you have a director who isn't doing what he or she should be to provide services and keep the morale up with the staff, really the trustees need to do something about that. And if you've traveled around the country as I have, you can tell almost the minute you walk in the front door whether it's a good librarian or a bad librarian. And it's a real shame when trustees just kind of don't have the backbone to let a bad librarian go. But again, that's the exception to the rule. In my experience, librarians are just terrific terrific in what they're able to provide with very little money. So that trustee webinar is very good. And I know a lot of friends sometimes become trustees later, or they were trustees and now they're friends. So please help yourself to that. We're really happy to have it. Are there any other questions?
Not from the audience, so I'll just remind the audience. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, me?
Well, okay, it seems we have a little delay, so I just wanted to say that we don't have any from the audience at the moment, but just encourage people that there is the Q&A area. I'll throw in my question here because in Nebraska we're kind of, I guess, unique in that we've kind of offered that membership automatically through the commission to Nebraska libraries, but we do have people who attend these and watch the recordings that aren't from Nebraska. So maybe if you could talk for a minute about how to become a member, what are the more benefits other than the website maybe of being a member, and how much does it actually cost?
Well, thank you again for that. So yes, those of you who aren't Nebraskans, I'm glad you're listening in. I think that's great. We have a couple of different opportunities for friends and librarians and trustees to join us. I'm just gone to the membership page to show you. If you're listening to this webinar, you've just seen all the benefits you get, but the pricing is quite attractive too, I think. So for example, if you want to join your group or your board of trustees, we do it we have a sliding scale based on your size, and for friends it's by the number of your membership, and I would imagine most groups in Nebraska probably come under the small. So if you're 100 members or less, it's $50 a year to join. If you're between 100 and 500, it's $85, and if you're over 500, it's $125. But you just saw all the fabulous, fabulous benefits you get from that. If you would like to become more active, you can join us as an individual member. You have to join ALA first if you're an individual, and for friends and trustees there's a discounted rate of $59, and then you join us for $50, and you get all of the same stuff, but in addition you get membership into ALA, you get American Libraries magazine, you can participate on our board or on our committees, so you're an active member when you join individually. But I think the group membership is really just a great opportunity for boards of trustees and friends groups out there who have no intention or no desire to join ALA. They don't imagine they'll ever come to conferences or anything like that. You can still have access to everything just by joining us. So yes, so that's a great opportunity, and I thank you for giving me that chance to talk about it.
All right. Thank you much. Yeah, that was the one big question I had, and it looks like we covered the other two. We do have a little time left, but we don't have to go the full hour. Is there anything else you'd like to throw in or encourage people to do?
Okay, well, I would like to, one thing I think is really great that we have is we have book club recommendations, and now let's see if I can find the book club recommendations, because I think a lot of you are interested in doing that sort of thing, and let's see. I'm not going to find that either. So you can see, everybody, this is kind of embarrassing for me because I don't often visit our site. And I don't do the website development, so I'm not always sure where everything is. But I'll give you a challenge instead. Maybe we'll have a race. If you're listening to this, try to find the public service announcements that are on our site and the book club recommendations, and I will do the same. And let's all email Michael. Let's see who finds them first. How's that for a challenge?
If you do find it, you can also put it in the questions area.
Okay, great. And that's frustrating because I did go through this morning and found everything quite easily, but somehow now I'm not feeling like I've in the right place for the right things. So Anyway, that's something else that's in there. We have probably 50 or 60 book club choices with the review. So when you find that, go in and find that. It'll give you some great ideas, because I know a lot of you have book clubs in your libraries, or you have book clubs that are done by your library, and always looking for some great ideas. And one of the great things about those book club choices too is they're almost all literary fiction, and it's not necessarily authors you would stumble upon on your own, so that's really fun. So if there aren't any other questions, I will go ahead and say thank you for listening. I hope that this has been helpful for you. I hope that you've taken some notes, or if you haven't, that you'll take a half hour or so and go through this, log on, get into the friend zone or the trustee zone, and really just surf around and find out all the things that we have to offer, because it's incredible to me. We've been developing these materials for over 20 years as FLUSA and now as ALTAFF, and we continue to add all the time. So it's a great resource for all of you. And I thank you, Michael, for making this possible today.
Oh, not a problem, Sally. And trust me, I feel for you as somebody who has given many a presentation based on a website. Suddenly being able to find what you were actually looking for, even though you found it yesterday, is actually quite common. So
okay, good. And look, I just found it under Friends Group. My eyes must have just skipped over it. So there you go. I win. But I still don't know where those PDFs are, but we'll find them.
Okay, well, they're in there somewhere. So yeah, and we just got a comment from one of our attendees saying thank you. The book club ideas and authors for libraries sounds very interesting. So we've looks like you've at least given folks some things to think about and to look for, and hopefully take advantage of. So, okay, folks, Sally, thanks once again. Greatly appreciate this. I'm going to go ahead and just for a moment take control back and wrap this up. So give me just a minute here to do that. All right. Thanks one last time to Sally and to all of you who have attended live. This has been a wonderful session about ALTAFF. You can join us next week for my monthly Tech Talk, where I will be talking to Jamie LaRue of the Douglas County Libraries in Colorado. If you've been following along with what's going on with ebooks and some other very interesting technology in libraries things, we will have him on the line giving a short presentation and then a discussion about what's going on there. Then we have some additional ones coming up there you'll see on the screen on digital humanities in the libraries, scholarship student conference attendees, libraries in a dash, and then my next Tech Talk with author Andrew Bloom. You look him up. The book is called Tubes. I'm really looking forward to that. The last interview I heard with him was on Fresh Air on NPR, so I need to up my interview skills, I think, to be talking to him. So anyways, thank you all for joining us, and we're going to call it a show, and see you next week. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Sally.
Thank you all.